Now, I've really got to get on. I've got a packed show today, and I've got lots of review stuff from 2015. I'm going to start with back in October, when one of my guests was Linda Broom. She was joined by her partner Jeff. I asked Linda just what she was doing and where she was going that following weekend.
Well, next weekend I'll be flying out to Portugal for the World Powerlifting Championships in Porto. Obviously it's a big event. First time I've represented GB at powerlifting, so looking forward to it.
And I mean, you're representing your country. I mean, how exciting is that for you?
It is very exciting. You know, I'm not young, and to represent my country at the age that I'm at is exciting, and it's.
Can you sleep at night thinking about the competition?
I'm trying not to focus on it too much at the moment. Still just day by day focusing on the training and making weight and the other things rather than the event itself.
So when you step on that plane, you'll finally think, I am here. I'm going for GB.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how this might be a strange question with the sport that you're in, but how do you get selected? Is it basically because you've lifted heavier than anyone else?
Yes. Within my weight and age category, I obviously have masters categories, which I'm in. Then I have to be selected from a qualifying competition, which is obviously quite a big, one of the bigger events.
In the discipline of powerlifting, we were talking off air that there's three types of lifts: bench, deadlift and squats.
Yes.
Now, for the uneducated like me, well, that's not true in this case because I've been down to some of the competitions that you've been lifting in. Just explain to our listeners what they are. How are you fixed? What do you do when you're doing a bench lift?
A bench,
yeah,
right?
Start with bench.
All three lifts use a sort of 7-foot bar, long bar that weights either end. On the bench, obviously, you lay on a bench on your back. The weight is handed out to you with your arms out straight above you, lowered to the chest, has to touch the chest. You're then given a bench command, so a press command. You press the weight till it's again locked out, and then you're given a rack command. And usually you are helped to rack it if it's heavy by spotters, loaders. Yeah.
Right. And you've got judges. I mean, I've been to these competitions, but you've got judges. Tell us about the judges.
Three
what
referees,
have they got? Yeah.
Referee either side and a referee behind you for benching. The back ref will give you the press command when they can see that the bars touched your chest, and they all have a button attached to a light. So 3 white lights is what you want. If you get 2 white and 1 red, it's still a good lift. If you get 2 red and 1 white, it's a no lift, or 3 red, no lift.
So that's the bench. What's the deadlift?
Deadlift, the bar is loaded and it's on the floor.
Okay.
So you walk up to the bar with your shins up to the bar, literally take hold of it and lift it. Usually that uses a combination of your leg drive and then sort of lock out through the hip by the hips driving.
So how high do you lift this?
You lift it till you're just standing. So this isn't.
You don't go above your head.
No, that's Olympic lifting.
Right.
Yes, it just comes up to sort of mid-thigh, I suppose, with standing with your arms hanging.
Okay, so that's the deadlift. Then what about the squat?
Squat, the bar is in a rack. We use a monolift, which is, so you step in and take the weight, and then a handle is moved, which moves the sort of the support away. You then squat down, sort of basically put your bum to the floor.
And then push up with the knees.
And then straight back up again, but you have to go lower than most people would go. It's quite deep to get to actual depth that's considered to be.
And for each lift, is there like a time span that you're allowed? Because you run out of time, sort of trying to psych yourself up?
You have to nominate your first lift, your opening lift weight, before the event at the time of weigh-in. You nominate your 3 opening weights. So the bar will be loaded for you, ready. You're called to the bar, called to the platform. Bar is loaded, and you've got a minute to start that lift. And once you've completed the lift, if it's a good lift, or if not, you then have a minute to nominate your next lift. You have 3 attempts.
Oh, you do get 3 attempts, yeah. Okay, so right. So that's the basics. That's for the uneducated, for the people listening at home, the world of powerlifting. And it is a high-profile sport. I mean, in between, when you're kind of, you've got your lift coming up, I mean, do you chill out, or are you like walking around, don't come near me, don't come near me, I'll pump you one. Are you all psyched up and full of nervous energy?
Different people behave differently, I suppose, in the warm-up area. You wait in a warm-up area or a holding area till you're called to the platform. I'm quite quiet. A lot of the guys, the bigger guys, use a lot more adrenaline and get us slapped about and properly have a partner who will probably literally shake them and slap them around the face and send them out angry, whereas I prefer to go out focused and thinking about the detail of the lift.
Okay, Jeff, now when you're in the audience watching Linda lifting, and we know that you're not a lifter, I'm not a lifter, do you think, oh, come on, girl, you can do this, you know, you're really like feeling for her?
Well, after I take quite a lot of photographs of all the lifters doing the competitions, but when Linda's lifting, I tend to lose my voice. I'm screaming at her to lift.
Yeah.
Apparently she can't hear anything that's going on when she's focused. It's really amazing to watch, really.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, the other thing you can do, listeners, is to go onto Linda Broom's Facebook page, and you can see some pictures of her. She's got a lovely, lovely, fantastic profile picture there, and you'll see just what... it's not the stereotype picture that you'd imagine. Right, so we're running out of time now. It's nearly 5 to the hour. Could you believe where's this hour gone? Now, I've just love to play this song before we go. This is Frankie Goes to Hollywood. This was in 1984 when Radio 1 wouldn't play it.
105.9 Academy FM.
Saturday Sport. You're listening to the Sports Ferret on Academy FM.
You can't beat a bit of Frankie there. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. We're just going to keep that chilling out in the background because time's running on. Okay, Linda, now then, it's your last chance to say some hellos, or is there any last things you want to say?
Yeah, I'd like to just say hello to my daughters, Madison and Summer. I'm not sure that they'll be listening, but you never know. Thanks for being patient with me across the last 30 years, 20 years of their lives that I've been training and competing. Thank you to my business partner, Jen, who's let me have the week off next week.
Oh, yes.
Sorry to go
of course,
to
the other thing is, although you're representing your country, you're still at work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And, thank you to Dizzy for my platform hair.
It looks lovely, Dizzy. Well done, you've done a good job.
And thanks to Nicola, my training buddy, my only other lady in the gym who I train with, and Jeff, of course, being patient.
Good old Jeff. You need a steadying hand behind you when you get a bit carried away to bring you down to earth. Say, woman, get the dinner. You might be representing Great Britain, but it's your turn to cook the dinner. Okay, now, do you think that they might put a statue up of your...
Of me in Folkestone?
When you come back?
I doubt it, but I have got my little purple statue under the bridge at Central Station.
I just thought I would tell the listeners that if ever you go underneath Central Station, there is a statue of you there already.
There is. Maybe you could hang a medal on it or something.
That'd be nice, yeah. So that was one of these 3D things that went up when the... Strange Cargo put it up, yeah. So there's... And it's still there.
It's going to stay permanently. They have permission for them to stay.
Is it? Yeah, it's lit up. So
it's the purple one.
So listeners, there you go. It's the purple one. Yes, on the station side. Yeah. So anyway, we are running out of time now. Linda, thank you so much for coming in. Just want to wish you all the best in Portugal. Jeff, thank you for your input, and we'll be looking out for your pictures. And it's been a great journey. You've been a master of a lot of sports, and now you're representing your country. We really want to wish you all the best. And what more can we say? Bring back a medal.
I hope to.
Well, in fact, Linda did bring back a medal, not just one, but two. She brought back 2 golds along with 2 world record lifts. So what a fantastic achievement that was. And they even played the national anthem for her. How cool is that? Okay, this is Kevin Daly, the Sports Ferret on Academy 105.9. I'm recapping. This is part 2 of my sport review, and I'm really moving on. I'm sorry if I've sort of teased you with some of the music there, but I had to give it a miss so we could get everybody, all the speech content in. Now then, moving on to November, and all-round sporty lady Emma Santa joined me in the studio, and I asked her if her parents had an influence on her sporting life.
My father used to do Formula V racing, stock car racing, motocross.
And what part were you brought up around here? You brought up in Mid-Kent, weren't you?
No, I was brought up in West Kent.
West Kent, yeah.
So on a farm, so we had motorbikes, horses, cars, works to play around with.
So it wasn't like a girly upbringing, it was more of a... You got brothers, have you?
I've got 3 brothers.
3 brothers.
You can imagine.
They put you straight. And so what was kind of your first love sport, do you think?
First was my grandfather was an amateur jockey, so he took me round to a farm when I was 3 years old and bought me my first pony, And from the age of 12, I was riding racehorses. So really, horses.
Horses is your first love.
Followed by running, I think, to be honest, because I ran my first 10K when I was 11.
11? That's against the rules now.
Is it?
Yeah, I think you've got to be 15, I think now. 15 or 16.
No, I did it in 53 seconds.
Really? That's excellent at that age.
Yeah, Sissinghurst 10K.
So you went from the running, but I mean, this interest in horses, that amazes me. How old were you when you first got on a horse?
Oh, I've got a photo of me at 1 year old sitting on the front of a racehorse. So,
on a racehorse?
Yeah.
Right. And
no hat, but wouldn't have that these days either.
Right. And so you say your grandfather was an amateur jockey?
He was, yeah.
And where did he compete?
Charing,
on the sort of point-to-point
circuit,
okay, right, so. Brilliant. I mean, was he a big lad? I mean, did he want to turn professional? Do all amateur jockeys want to turn professional?
Oh no, I don't think he actually started riding till later on in life. He was just doing it for fun. He used to be one of those people that got his horse out of the field and chucked it in the horse box and got on and raced.
Right. Well, it's funny. It's your sort of very early days on a horse did, in fact, one time, well, to me, it must have been your dream job, managing the Folkestone racecourse.
I never imagined that would actually happen. You know, I mean, I was from the other side of Kent. I used to go racing with my grandfather, but we didn't go to Folkestone. Some of his horses actually raced at Folkestone because he bred them as well.
Now, Emma, before we talk about France, let's go back to your youth, when your misspent youth on the farm, chasing horses, and but you did a bit of motocross. Tell us about your motocross background.
Yeah, my father, both my uncles, and all of my brothers, bar one, he couldn't race, he has a hole in his heart, all did motocross, and it was a bit of a joke back then, and they said, girls can't race. So that, to me, was like a red rag to a bull. Right. So I said, oh, yes, they can. So I did 4 races. Did
you start off on one of them? I mean, did they have their mini bikes, or was it like straight onto a big bike?
No, I had a CR125 Honda.
Right.
And but I crashed and burned badly, broke my wrist and damaged my leg.
Oh dear.
So, but I did it. So I raced.
Was that during the race or when you was practicing?
No, during the race.
During the race,
yeah. The throttle got stuck.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And so I slid off, which doesn't normally hurt if you slide off. But then the people behind me, because it was so dusty, they rode over me. Boxing basically is on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, which I go to.
So you want to say hello to some of the ladies? You were trying to get someone else to come in, weren't you?
I was a little bit shy, to be honest with you. But I'd love to say hello to everybody at the boxing club. Everyone that is there is amazing. We've got newcomers, people have been coming for years, so a real mixture of ages, sizes, people.
Right, now ladies boxing, now it doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it, to start with? Ladies boxing, no. But I've been up the boxing club. I remember when the boxing club started, the ladies side of it, and you were struggling for ladies to come along. But what's it like now?
Yeah, I remember Rose Hewitt, who used to be the treasurer of the boxing club. I said I wanted to do something different apart from going to the gym. And she said, you should go boxing. And I said, I can't do that. And I made her take me up there the first time, like a naughty little schoolgirl. Yeah. And I've never, I've been ever since. I love it.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. But when we first started it up, it was only sort of 2 or 3 people. We started a Facebook group, started sort of talking about it, got some funding from Us Girls, which gives us hoodies and things like that. And we have a mixture of sort of different people each week, sort of 25 to 30 people.
That's brilliant, because it's not a big place, is it? 25 to 30 is pretty packed up there.
It's not. Hopefully we'll get some bigger premises in the future, but it isn't big, but it's an old school Rocky style boxing gym, and it's lovely.
Yeah, brilliant. So, I mean, how'd you get on with the fellas? The fellas. First of all, I want to say good morning to Barry and Josh. Hopefully they're listening in, because we're going to be talking about the big event coming up. But when you've got like big butch men training you and ripping into you, how does that
go we down? Love it. It's funny. It's Eric, he's like Sergeant Major. We call him Sergeant Major. Yeah. And he's always telling me off for being 5 minutes late. Busy person though, Eric. Busy person. And you've got Dean and Gary and Kevin. They're great. I mean, I like working with the coaches because it makes you work harder.
Right. I mean, you've been there since day one, but supposing a new person comes to the gym, I mean, I've seen you kind of signed in, bang, you're straight in. Is it a bit of a shock to some of them, just how hard you work?
Well, not really. I mean, what we do, we know who's new, and we try to help them to fit in and help them out as much as we can, and you do it at your own pace. We're all at different standards, and if you're new, you don't have to do everything that we do. Do it slower, do half of it. It's not a problem. Everybody came in like that, including myself. I couldn't even stand up, kept falling over, trying to balance.
Right.
But it's not intimidating at all because everyone's so friendly.
So let's make the point there. It's a boxing club, but in effect, you do get into the ring, but it's not. What's the word? Competitive. It's not.
You can be if you want to be. There's no pressure for anybody. There's probably 4 or 5 of us get into the ring, and the rest don't want to, or.
But you don't. The point is, Emma, you're not punching hell out of each other.
No.
You're punching against other bags or gloves. So
you do a warm up when you first go in, which I always miss the first 5 minutes. Parking. I blame.
Oh no, it's bad round there. Yeah.
And then you do pad work or bag work, do some circuits as well.
But the point I'm trying to make to ladies out there that might think, oh, you won't catch me, I'm going to get sort of come home with a black eye.
Oh no,
but what's the word? It's not competitive. It is competitive, but you don't punch each other.
No.
You're always up against either a bag or
only if you want. If you want to spar, you
spar.
Put a head
That's
guard
the word.
on,
There's no sparring. That's the
head
word.
Guard on, and gum shield, and there's only a few people that do that, but there's no pressure to do it.
Yeah, right.
I'd say the majority don't. They enjoy doing, the fitness.
Because you don't actually hear much about women's boxing competitions. Having said that, a few years ago, I think even before you joined the club, Barry and I can't remember her name, but there was a lovely lady boxer came in, and she was looking to compete.
Probably Abby. Maybe.
It might be Abby. Yes, yeah. She was good in her level.
She was very good.
Yeah,
I was working with her on Thursday.
Oh right,
actually.
yeah. So the point is, ladies, if you're out there, don't let the boxing club, the name itself, give you any fear. It's more about the fitness, and I've seen these ladies working, and it isn't for the faint-hearted, but as Emma said, you come in at your own pace and slowly build up.
And it's the best workout you'll ever get for £2.
£2 and bring your own water.
Bring your own water.
Oh, what a great slogan. Okay, having said that, this would be me if I went boxing. It's you keep me hanging on. This is Dinah Ross and the Supremes. So that was me chatting to Emma Santa there, a lady who's tried many sports, and I just love listening to her speaking about the ladies boxing. And just to let you know, actually, that she's got a new job now. She's working up at the Kent County Cricket Ground in Canterbury, and I hope to be getting, a little guided tour up there with my little voice recorder and a walk around and see what they got up there. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, this is Kevin Daly, the Sports Ferret on Academy FM. Well, next up we were joined by Paul Stanton and Andy Bates, better known as Stano and Batesy, along with Terry Hardy and Paul's son Lucas, all from Folkestone Invicta Football Club. Now, I started this one by asking Batesy what was his role at the club.
For my sins, I'm chairman of the Folkestone Invicta Youth Section.
Yeah, okay, so that's quite a job then, because you've got a lot of kids to chair, I understand.
A lot of kids to chair, but a great team of people around the club who make the job actually very easy by their quality. So, it's very enjoyable, but a brilliant team of people.
Okay, now Paul, come in, Paul. Paul, what's your job at the club?
I'm head youth coach.
Head youth coach.
Invicta, yeah.
Okay,
youth.
So you pass your knowledge on to the other coaches, do you, or you kind of guide them if they need?
It's more about guidance and making sure that everybody does things properly, and at match days. Making sure parents behind the goal and not behind the goals, etc., those kind of things.
So there's quite a protocol really about the coaching. It doesn't stop with what's going on the park. You've got to kind of coach the parents as well.
Yeah, sometimes definitely, but also we sort of get involved in making sure that people who want to come and coach, we interview them and make sure they're the right pedigree, and make sure they need the qualifications, etc.
Right, well, we'll talk about qualifications in a minute, but basically come back in. So how many, tell us a little bit about the club, how many teams and the sort of structure of the youth setup.
Well, team-wise, probably better to talk about the amount. We've got well over 300 children now actually associated with us, which is phenomenal.
They don't all turn up on the same night, do they?
Oh, thankfully not. That might be a bit of a chore to coach that one. But we've also got a disabled team that comes under the youth section and girls team that also comes under the remit of the youth section as well. So, with over 300 kids and the disabled team and the women's team, we're rightly proud of that number.
Right. So at what age can they what's the first age that they kind of, I won't say competitively, but they play football against other clubs?
Well, Stano does an introduction section on a Thursday evening, which is sort of 4 to 5 years old. And then they can start really from 7s and 8s actually playing against other teams, although that is classed as non-competitive, so scores aren't produced or anything like that, but the kids obviously absolutely love it.
Right.
Yeah, because how it works on a Thursday, it's sort of like, yes, as Batesy said, starts with 4 to 5 year olds up until 8, and then in that time we have a look at the lads, and then the first teams will start at under 8s.
Okay, so, yeah. So besides you two having your role as a chairman and a head coach, you spend a lot of your energy in one particular team?
Yeah, Stano is the manager of the under-18s.
Okay.
Also, we have a great friend of ours, Mickey Richmond, so the three of us are involved in running the 18s.
Right, 18. So that's the link now between the future of the club and the first team. And I've seen myself that some of the youngsters have turned up on the bench there and put in a good shift when they've been asked to do it. But I just want to bring Terry in now. Morning, Terry.
Morning, kids.
How are you?
Yeah, fine, mate. Thank you.
So tell us about now. We here know what your role is at the club, but tell us about your role at the club.
Yeah, it's something I took on about 10 or 15 years ago. I was short of a PA announcer, and knowing Clive like I did, I suggested I might have a go at it, seeing as my older days were spent as a DJ in Sundowners nightclub, as we've mentioned earlier on.
Now, I must interrupt, I've got to ask you about that, because we've got another friend of the show coming on, Moose Murray.
Yep.
Now, you know Moose. Now, Moose is coming on. He's plays for the rugby club. He's the captain of the rugby club. And I said you were coming on today. And he said, ask him about Terry Lee, the sensational sounds of the 70s. Was that you?
It was, yes. I was...
in his flared trousers.
I was the one. It used to be Terry Lee, and I used to work with Bobby Diamond.
Bobby Diamond.
A good guy I knew from the Fire Brigade. It's quite amazing, actually, because I started being Terry Velvet. I wore a lovely 1970s...
Diamond and Velvet.
Lovely 70s jacket. It was quite good fun.
Did you have all the girls hanging around the stage afterwards then?
I'd rather not say, just in case there's people out there listening at the moment. But it was great times, and obviously I had that ability to be able to sit in front of a mic and talk about the records, and it just seemed a natural progression to get involved in Invicta.
Okay, I'll just say, sorry Terry to interrupt, there's so much, I'll tell you, we're going to have so much to talk about today. But Moose is coming in on the 3rd of December, actually, Moose Murray, captain of the rugby club. So if you've got any dirt to dish on him, then let us know, and you can get your own back.
It could be a list as long as your arm, I'm afraid.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, back to your job at the club.
Yeah, so it's a case of getting in there early enough to set all the kit up, make sure it's tested, record, make sure it's working. As well as that, I've also now taken on the role of the sort of assistant kit man. So one of my responsibilities now is to make sure the kit gets cleaned, replaced, packed away, ready for the next game.
Okay,
I don't wash it myself.
I was going to say, is that why your car's always parked outside Posh Wash?
It is, yes. I'm at Posh Wash most days of the week.
I can just imagine you at home with all the kit up to the neck in bubbles. Yeah,
it's not quite like that, but it's a job that needed doing, and why shouldn't I do it?
Okay.
That's the great thing about Invicta. There's so many people who give their time for nothing, and great that these guys, Batesy and Stano as well, all these people at this football club are giving all their time for nothing. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so moving on now, we've got a song lined up, lads, for Stano and Batesy. Now this one takes us back to 1985, and you've asked for this one. You got any little special memories about this one? Come on.
This was when we were playing down at Hive. We had a good side down there, and it was kind of a bit like the change room song afterwards. These days with our 18s, and I'm sure with the first team, there's all sorts of music going on, but this one just got everyone going. It's a feel-good tune, and we absolutely love it.
Excellent. Okay, what more is there to say except this is it? Everyone wants to rule the world. Tears for Fears.
105.9 Academy FM.
The sound of Folkestone.
everybody wants to rule the world. We're going to just chill that one out a little bit, because we've got a little special man who's come in the studio today, and so good morning. I want to say good morning to Lucas. Good morning, Lucas.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. I just want to wish my team the best of luck when the game's on.
So you're telling me you got a game today?
Yeah. I don't know who's against, but I think we'll play. I think we'll play our best.
Good, I'm sure you do. Now, where you were telling me before we come on to the on air today that you play in a lot of positions, don't you?
Yeah, we play like all positions.
And what's the best one you're best at?
Probably striker or midfield.
Striker or midfield. Okay. Now you got a special job to do at the big match this afternoon, haven't you?
Yeah.
What's that job you got to do?
I'm a mascot.
Mascot. Great. That'd be good. And who are tell us, do you know who the other mascots are?
I think it's Cody, my sister Lydia, and Lorelei.
Oh, great. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you going to come out together. That is brilliant. We're looking forward to that. We're going to announce your names. We're going to make sure we've got all the names of all the mascots.
Oh, yes, we'll be there.
And Terry's going to announce them out. And so you listen out when you come out walking and you hear that bit of music we just played, you listen out for your name. So good luck to your game, and score a couple of goals for us then, Lucas.
I try.
Batesy, away you go.
Well, there's loads of people from the youth section that we could thank. First one I want to thank is Terry Marsh and all the coaches. Terry does an awful lot of work behind the scenes that people don't realise. Katja Morris as well, who's our treasurer. If she had a business card, she'd have about another 20 job titles on it as well. She's absolutely phenomenal. And Tracy Nunn, who's our welfare officer. So much work they do behind the scenes, Kev, that we really should say how highly we rate them.
And Stano?
Yeah, I really
just back it up, I suppose.
Yeah. I think that all our coaches they do it voluntary. Nobody gets paid for anything. They get some stick sometimes from parents of kids who think they shouldn't be in the teams, but they do it, out of the goodness of their heart, and we are eternally grateful to them.
So that was a small insight into what goes on behind the scenes in the Invicta Youth section, and a little bit about the life of Terry, the PA man. Now, this is Kevin Daly. We're doing a sport review part 2 of some of the fabulous sporty guests in this town that came in to talk to me. And I'm just, so proud and pleased to find out how many volunteers and how many dedicated sports people are out there. Now, our next interview is with 2 local footballers. So let's go straight into this one, because I'm really conscious of the time and I don't want to leave anybody out today. So here we go. Martin Chandler and Craig Smith are here, and I want to welcome them both here. Morning, guys.
Morning. Good morning.
Now then, now you've really undertaken something, you two guys. We don't normally think about the London Marathon this sort of early on, like the year before, but you're running the London Marathon in 2016. Now, Martin, tell me what's inspiring you to run the London Marathon.
We are running for the Evelina Children's Hospital.
For the what, sorry?
The Evelina Children's Hospital. Hospital, right? My son Cameron, he recently undergone a kidney transplant in February up at the hospital, and his mum Tanya, she donated her kidney to him.
Did she?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Morning, Tanya.
Yeah.
Morning, Cam. Yeah. We know you're listening.
And but everything gone really, really well so far. So
okay.
So our little way of paying back.
Right. And have you had much experience of running, at all? Apart from, I know you used to play football.
Used to play, yeah, but over the last...
something a bit out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, very much so, yeah. I didn't really used to get out the centre circle when I was at Folkestone and Invicta, so...
Now, Craig, you're going to join him as well, so how are you feeling about running the London Marathon?
Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to it now. I blame Graham, Martin's dad, for kind of roping us both into it. It was his suggestion, I think, after he ran it last year.
That's right. Do you know what?
Same charity.
We were talking off air. I do remember seeing your dad up there last year. In fact, he saw me, my Union Jack bandana, and he whacked me on the head. I think he was desperate for some support, like you do when you're really low. But no, he done really well, didn't he? What did he do? He
ran it in 5 hours too, and he raised nearly £2,000.
Brilliant. So. Okay. Now, Martin, I mean, this is a little bit off the script. I didn't expect this. I didn't know that Tanya had given a kidney. I mean, what sort of, what was, I don't know, just tell me what that was like.
for her, it's as her child. You just do what you can. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we was going up there from like November to have tests, make sure that it was the right match and stuff like that. So, but that was over a really quick period, 6-7 weeks. I think she was up there nearly every other day, waiting for results and bloods and stuff like that. But it's like they say, it's the gift of life, and he's come out of it just so well.
So it was obviously all successful.
Yeah, a really big success. There's no signs of like any.
And what about Tanya? Was there any effects afterwards for her?
She was bad for a couple of weeks, just as you are, getting over surgery. And then she's recovered really, really well. Every now and again, a little bit tired, but that's to be expected. But no, both of them are doing superbly well.
Excellent. Now, I've never been to the Evelina Children's Hospital. I've heard about it more so in recent years, I think, because there's been a few cases around here where people have been going up to the hospital. Now, just run me through what it's like when you're going through the wards and looking in. I mean, it must be, I don't know, heart-rendering.
It is. You see all the little children around, but they get on with it.
Yeah.
It's part of their lives. They go up there, they're happy, they're smiling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you wouldn't, if you saw them on the street, you wouldn't know that they're part of a hospital, and they have treatment and stuff like that. So
that's right. That's fantastic. Yeah. Now, Craig, tell us a little bit about your training in New York and Las Vegas.
So before I went on holiday, it was going all right. Me and Martin were getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, doing some hill sprints and so forth. I took my wife Kirsty away for her birthday to New York and Las Vegas, and
the training went to
since
pot
then. It's been difficult to motivate myself to get out in the morning, but we'll be getting back out. I think we've got quite a structured plan to start in January, to kind of really start hitting the training hard.
Okay, and do you both run together, or do you kind of the way life goes, you do your own thing?
As much as we can, we'll run together, but obviously we're both busy in the week. I know Martin takes Cameron to football, I take my son Tyler to football as well, so we do as much as we can do together, but then also we need to get out.
Are you both free at weekends? Is that when the big one? Or is weekends busy?
We'll put it for we'll have to sit down and think, right, when's the best day, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah. Well, at least you've got a plan, you've got a structured plan. I think that's what you need, because you've got to get that something to like kick you out the backside and get you out of bed. But I mean, with the motivation that you've got, Martin, with the Children's Hospital, Cameron, Tanya giving a kidney, you don't need much motivation anymore, do you?
I think that'll get us through the last
6 miles.
6 miles, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, oh, great.
Definitely.
Martin, I want you to tell us about this little song.
I spoke to Cameron this morning. I said, choose a song that you'd like to dedicate to Mum, obviously for everything you've both been through, and he chose this one. So
okay, here we go. We're all cringing here, but it's a great song. Cam, Martin, Craig, I want to thank you for coming in. I want to keep up to a bit closer to the marathon. We'll hear about how your progress is going, and but get along tonight to the Royal Chair and do something special for the Evelina Children's Hospital.
105.9
Academy FM.
This is Ollie Moores for his mum, because she's beautiful to me, and to Martin, and to Craig, and to Cameron.
Ties her hair up tight, puts her armor on, lives in black and white, and the color's gone, but it's in her eyes. Yeah, time and time again we're going back to the start, and I try again to bring some light to the dark. You know every day's a battle and it tears her apart, and I don't know why. And I'm picking up the pieces when they fall to her feet.
So as we wind that one down, the training now starts for Craig and Martin, and we wish them all the best for the London Marathon. And I'll tell you what, me and Mrs. Ferret will be out there that day, and we'll definitely be looking out for them. So we're into December now, the last month of 2015. The next set of guests were Moose Murray and Lee Fitchie from the Folkestone Rugby Club. And my first question aimed at Lee, and I asked him just what was his current role at the club.
Yeah, my current role at the minute, obviously I'm very fortunate to be head coach of the club. Been connected with the club since playing for them in the under-13s.
So you started at under 13s and you've gone through the whole...
Gone through all the age groups up until 17, then obviously went away to play high rugby and got injured, and then got my connections with the club to come back in, and was obviously started playing again. Then obviously became assistant coach for a couple of years under the last coaches, Lee Jeffrey and Darren Malloy.
Right.
And fortunate enough, the club have had confidence in me to obviously put me in the role as head coach.
Good for you. It's a good step up. That's excellent. Now, Moose, tell us about your background with the club. I know you're club captain, is that right?
Yeah, third year's club captain. I joined the club under 12s, sort of played all the way up.
Right. Okay, so that's great as well. So, I mean, have you got many players that are like that? They've started as minis or whatever, and they've stayed with it, and they're now in the first team. Lee?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Pretty much. I mean, we've bar one or two people that moved to the area, either through the army. They're pretty much 95% of the squad is all Folkestone grown.
That's great.
Which pretty much no other club within the county can actually say that. So yeah, very, very fortunate that they've stayed with the club.
So Moose, tell us what positions you play and what's your role as a club captain. The guys, you're getting beat 20-0. What is you've got to do now to wind them up?
Oh, we don't get beat 20-0.
As it happens, I've got the records going back 30 years here. No, come on, you guys are perhaps they're not playing. They know they're not playing well. Their chin might be a little bit on the floor. It's your job. What do you have to do to them?
Yeah, I think we're lucky within the club that we've all grown up throughout the club. We've known each other a long time, and it comes down to pride, really. You're playing for your town, you're playing for your club. So, and obviously we're playing for the coaches. It's just reiterating what we've learned at training, what we've been doing all week, and then putting that into practice.
So they all know that they got to dig it. They don't really need you to tell them.
I mean, you don't need to be
to be reminded, I suppose.
Yeah, I think. With rugby, the weather plays a massive part of the game. So if you're 20-0 down and the winds, you're running into the winds. You don't have to be too worried. You just got to believe in yourself and put it into practice.
Okay. Now, was that the same for you, Lee, when you were playing? I mean, now you're a coach. What was your attitude on the pitch? Was it just like get stuck in, team game?
Yeah, absolutely. The final score is only the score at the end of the game that counts. And games at any sport, momentum is massive. And with rugby, obviously in particular, 20-0 sort of equate, although it sounds a big score, it equates to 2-0. When if you get that next goal, you get that next try, 7, all of a sudden you get a bit of momentum, you get another quick score.
Your little spring in your step.
All of a sudden the opposition's a little bit nervous, you've got all the momentum and the game can switch so quickly that, it's the only thing that is the score at the end of the game. And that's all that matters.
Okay, we're going to play a bit of music now, and hopefully if I press the right button this time, this is one that Moose has asked for, and it's a bit of Stone Roses. There you go, a bit of Stone Roses, Fool's Gold. That's a nice gentle one. I didn't quite know what to expect. We have one Stone Roses track on the system, and so we played it, and it's quite a gentle. I was quite surprised. Good choice, Moose. So, Lee, let's start with you now. Now, it's a massive club. You've got 4 senior teams, 5 junior teams, 6 mini teams, times 15. That must be about 300 kids, is it? I don't know. It's good job they don't.
And more. If you came up on a Sunday and saw how many kids are there,
right.
Coaches, obviously all family members watching games or training, it's unbelievable.
Okay, so now it's your little soapbox time to just run through some of the guys that are important up the club and some of the thank yous you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, like we just mentioned, there's not really enough time to mention everybody because you have to thank everybody because we are a community.
Don't leave anybody out. Yes.
You just can't because everybody is literally as important as each other because, it's a community club and everybody helps everybody. I had to pick out a few, so my focus ones, because unfortunately she's retiring this year, Jill Scott, our bar manager, club manager.
Yep.
She was there when I was a junior, so I've grown up with her. Obviously the current players, they've grown up with her. We can't say thank you enough for the work that she does. She's there literally 24/7 for the club, in and out the club. Another gentleman, if you watch the British Lions or anything, they have a kit man called Ruller that everybody loves. Well, we have the man that taught Ruller everything he knows, and that's Don Turner. Another man, he's our kit man, but he does so much stuff behind the scenes that the people just don't realise, and coaches juniors on a Sunday. He is an integral part of the club. And the other one, I know he's sitting opposite me, is my captain. Okay, some people will go,
checks in the postman.
Yeah, exactly that handshake. Yeah, the cash has just gone straight in my pocket. But It's another one that just shows everything about the club. Some people away from the club or even within just think it's a first team captain, takes care, but all the stuff behind the scenes he does, obviously he has to put up with me. Right. But he helps organise the tours, events. Obviously he's safety secretary of the club, so he's really an integral part of the club and does so much stuff, which is what everybody does. It's not just a single role that someone does. Everybody helps everybody out.
That's brilliant. So you're all helping each other. Now, Moose, it's your turn. It's your turn to thank Lee.
Yeah.
No, tell us who's your kind of role models or thank yous that you want to do.
Well, I think the biggest thank you of all has to go out to all of the coaches. We touched on it earlier, how a lot of the first team players have all come through the mini section and the youth section of the club, and all of the coaches who spend all their time up there on a Sunday morning putting the hard hours in, make it a lot easier for us moving forward as a club. You got to look at Mark Edwards and his exec team. Do a fantastic job up there keeping the place running. A special thanks to Alex Ruddock, because this man, I don't know how many hours a week he puts into the club, but it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And of course Lee.
Oh, yeah. So the check's swapping that the other way now. Lee, last word from you, I think. This season, you're going for promotion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We touched on it earlier. I think, obviously, you have to be realistic with the goals that you set out for the squad that you have and the team. But I think the fact that we do have a squad that we've been pushing, they haven't really fully reached their full potential. But to say you're not going for promotion is mean that you're willing to lose a game, which is certainly not my mentality. And I know the mentality of the guys. They go out, the way they train is they want to win, and I hope that obviously everything falls in their favour and they obviously reach their goals and they can actually reach what their talent deserves.
Okay, excellent. Well, fellas, thanks for coming in. As I said to you at the start, it's gone so quick. There's so much we can talk about. Moose, I'd like to see you lifting a trophy at the end of the year. Think that's possible?
Yeah, definitely so.
Well, so let's hope Moose lifts a trophy in 2016, and let's hope the Stones get promotion. It should be said for these guys, I mean, they've been fantastic loyal servants to the club, and it'll be a fitting end to the season. Now, really struggling to get this one in. This is so we come to the last interview of 2015, and special guests that day were Tim and Angie from the Folkestone Running Club. Now, I always encourage my guests to bring their children into the studio, but sometimes they go mega shy. Anyway, just listen to this. And we're also joined in the background by Adam, Rebecca. Adam's 10, Rebecca's 7, and Abigail's 5. Morning, guys. Morning. Morning. Okay, they are here, and I'm sure before the show's out, we're going to hear from them. But anyway, let's start with you, Tim. Let's start with you, Tim. Now, Tim, what's your role at the club?
Well, as well as a runner, I'm kind of the social and press officer now, as well as coaching the juniors on a Thursday night. But yeah, mainly it's down to me to get the club in the news, really, in the papers, on the website.
All right. And Ange, what are you? You're just a runner, are you?
Yeah, just a runner.
That's a good thing to be, actually, because sometimes, there's people that like to do all the stuff that Tim does, but sometimes, I mean, you're a part of this ladies' teams. I've noticed you've done a lot of cross-countries lately.
A lot of cross-countries.
Where have you been, then?
We've been all over the place.
Yeah.
Bexley, Swanley.
Yeah.
Tunbridge.
Right. I mean, is this real cross-country, like really up to your neck in mud and rubbish? And
It's been fairly muddy.
Yeah.
In the wind, in the rain.
Oh, good. I love to hear that. And now, Tim, I must say, first of all, that you do a great job in the blogging and the reporting, because as people have noticed, I'm sure, over the last, I don't know, could be a year or so, every time you pick up either the Herald or the Kent paper, there's a big splash of red, white and blue, and that's down to you, I believe.
Well, I think all us runners, we love to see ourselves in the, in the print, to be honest.
Yeah.
Myself included. So I kind of took it upon myself, really. I run local races. I want to see my result in the paper. So I kind of offered to take it over from others at the club that, we're doing a lot more at the club as well, and I have to take it on, really. So I'm pleased to do so.
You're doing a fantastic job, and it is noticed by your fellow athletes, I'm sure, and by everybody in the local press. Actually, what a good coverage the club has got. Now, the only thing with having your picture done when you're running is it looks like you're gurning, doesn't it? I mean, everyone that's had a picture. I've seen some shockers of you, Angie, where you're running and you just get that moment where you've got this horrible gurney face, like you left your teeth out. So, Angie, for you, when you've got your head down and you see someone with the camera, what do? You give them the old thumbs up?
I do try to smile.
Yeah, no.
105.9
Academy FM.
I'm only taking it.
Saturday Sports Show.
Now, Tim, tell us a little bit about the sort of current membership of the club and how it all works.
Yeah, I think there's over 100 senior members at the moment. We've also got a lot of junior members too, which is great because that is the future of the club. Like I said, myself and Mick and a few others, we take the juniors on a Thursday night, so they definitely are the future. But yeah, the senior members, you know, we've got a wide variety of abilities. You know, it's certainly, you don't have to be the fastest to run in our club. You know, there's a real mix of people. We're very nice, you know, social mix as well. And basically a lot of people just like to run at a weekend, and like you say, if they get their name in the paper or on the website, you know, it's all the better as well.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people are probably, there's a lot of unattached runners still at races. Do you think people are sometimes put a little bit daunted by, you know, the club shirt?
They possibly are, but they shouldn't be, because what I like about our club is we wait for the last runner, you know. Especially like cross country at the moment, it's the thing we've been doing, and the morale and everything that's been going with that has been brilliant. You know, we all support each other. You know, we cheer everyone on, we motivate them, we have cake afterwards. You know, it's a real. It's not just about the running, although obviously the running is a big part of it. You know, we're all there for one another. We all support one another. It's all about everyone's individual development. You know, they all want to get better, get their PBs. We all encourage that, and we just work together, to be honest.
Okay. Well, Rolling Stones, you can't beat a bit of Stones on a Saturday morning. Okay, now it's back to our guests. We're joined today by Tim Warren and Angie Saunders from the Folkestone Running Club. All right, guys, still with us?
Yep, still there.
Good, right, okay. Now, you can get back off these. They've been dancing around the studio, honestly. They've got so much energy, these runners. Now, Angie, let's talk to you. And we were talking earlier a bit about cross country, so kind of run me through like a day in the life of a cross country outing. I mean, you all go up in cars together?
Yeah, we all share lists. We go out there together.
Okay. What's the muddiest one you've been to, do you think?
Oh, must be. Oh, I can't remember now. Swanley was quite muddy.
Okay, so you turn up at Swanley and you think, oh man, look at the state of that. We've got to run in that. And so what happens next? You kind of you have to register, or you know?
We already got our numbers ready,
yeah.
So we pin our numbers on.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to start together.
So how many races would there be? Say
one race.
Just one race.
Just for the ladies.
Okay.
And then the men is after.
So the ladies' race is all age categories, but are you graded in within that race? So you'd be in a certain category, but someone that's obviously 10 years older than you would be in a different. But you all run in the same race.
All run together.
Okay. I mean, do you normally find that there's like the same old pecking order in the club, that you know you get a certain one at the front and a certain one at the back?
Yeah. And it gets even more exciting when we change pecking order.
Oh right, yeah, okay.
Bit of competition.
So it's probably the races are probably of a different length because it depends on the courses, but kind of how long are you on your feet for if you're doing a cross-country race?
For the ladies, it's 5k.
Okay, so it's measured 5k.
5k, yeah. So we're running for between just over 20 minutes to however long,
and
30 minutes.
And some of the courses, are they like one 5k course, or do you do like 3 or 4 laps?
For ladies, usually 2-lap course.
Yeah, okay. And so do you often look at the weather forecast before you go up, or you'd rather not know about it?
Oh yes, but it can be a surprise.
Yeah,
all that wind as well.
Yeah,
it's tough, and the rain.
Is it like that?
We still enjoy it though.
Good,
great fun.
So actually, how many ladies in the team? You know, when you go up.
We've had a really good year this year. We've had over 10 ladies for every single race.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant this year.
Now, what about the men, Tim? How many men do you get out on a cross country?
Well, this year's been an exception, really. I mean, often we have to follow the ladies, so the ladies have always been quite well supported in the cross country. This year, the men have sort of taken it on board as well. We've actually had over 12 runners every time, which, you know, there is actually a category, you know, like the top 12 teams, if you like. So we've been scoring in every race this time, which is, you know, fantastic. Again, you know, we have a kind of wide range of abilities amongst those runners, but we all support one another. Yeah. It's just important we all get across that finish line, really.
Right. And do the ladies go first, which obviously churns up the course, makes it a bit tougher for you guys? Oh, that's really thoughtful of you, Angie. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally we get the juniors, and the ladies will churn it up for us.
Oh, you get the juniors as well.
Yeah. Okay. We're normally the very last to run it, so we get the worst conditions, obviously.
And if you're at the back, it must be hell. You're up to your knees in it. Yeah. Kids, now we're going to have one last little go at getting these kids to the microphone. We've been practicing. All they've got to say is one word. And so if you get around, now, are we all ready? We have been practicing this word. It begins with G, all right? We all got it, yeah? Okay, what are you going to say? Goodbye! That's it. So goodbye, everyone. We're going to finish off with Kylie Minogue, a Santa song, and Santa Baby. Tim and Angie, thanks for coming in, and have a great night tonight. No hangovers. I might see you at the fun run tomorrow. I'll be dressed in red. See you there.
105.9
Academy FM.